Hey, Brian, catch!
Ow!
It's the baton.
Why'd you hit me?
It's your turn to do the intro there,
All
pal.
right. Well, today on Desktop, we're talking about weddings, Pokemon updates, and Andy's hot math professor that he would totally bone.
That's not true.
This is Desktop.
Hey.
Hey. What are you... Hey, stop that. Put down that knife, Andy. Oh, God. Andy, please.
Just slashing about. It's a good arm exercise. Just start thrashing. I'm fighting a ghost.
Yeah.
It's an enchanted knife. It's a chanting knife.
It's a chanting knife?
It chants.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but only when no one's around.
Yeah, and only inside your mind.
It's like, yo ho, a knifing like
Oh,
me.
well, that wasn't
Hey.
what I pictured, but all right.
Well, it's not your dagger, so you wouldn't know.
It's not a dagger, it's a knife.
It's a dagger. Now it's a Trident.
Oh.
What are you going to do about it?
Hmm.
The Trident just has 3 knives at the end. It's just a fork.
Are you saying Triton?
Trident.
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 Okay. I couldn't tell if you were saying Triton, like King Triton.
Oh, from The Little Mermaid?
Yeah, or if you were saying Trident.
It's Trident, like the gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's with that?
Why do they call it Trident?
Yeah, that's weird, right?
I don't know.
It's like, because I get the dent part, because it's like dentists'
Is
Teeth.
that why they call it that?
teeth. It's because that's like, it's always branded as like, oh, Trident will help you whiten your teeth kind of thing. Like,
But that's why they call it that, or are you speculating here?
this is a 100% pure guess, but I know, isn't the Trident thing like 9 out of 10 dentists like,
I don't recall, but and this is the first phone lookup of the session here. Brian, the human encyclopedia, coming at you once again with some hot knowledge.
all from my brain.
Your eyes roll back to the back of your head, and you're like, beep boop, calculating, scanning knowledge database.
So on the Trident gum page, it says Trident is a brand of sugar-free chewing gum. It was introduced by Cadbury in the United Kingdom. In many other European countries, Trident is branded as Stymorol gum.
Stymerol?
It is generally the same as Trident. The Trident is also a Greek sea god, a symbol of the Greek sea god Poseidon.
Oh, so they didn't call it.
No.
Ah, yes, for Poseidon.
For Poseidon. Our offering to Poseidon is this gum.
The sea god created this gum.
I feel like it has to be because the slogan is the great taste that is good for your teeth. So it's all very teeth centric.
Well, I understand that, but I think that's more of a coincidence if you can't.
I don't think it is. There's never a coincidence.
I just don't. What would the first part be unless there were like 3 dentists,
right,
like the
so-
Trident?
Right. So maybe
Came
it's
together.
for when people used to have 3
Teeth.
rows of teeth, like sharks. And so to keep the teeth clean, we had to chew Trident.
Yeah, I remember my great grandma was telling me about how she had to have like a special tool for her 3 rows of teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people
They'll
back in the day.
really gnash you up.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna say something, but then that just kind of spiraled into this, Poseidon-filled 3 rows of teeth adventure here. So,
But Tridents are named for the 3, like, quote unquote teeth that are on the ends of them. So that's why they're named.
I thought you were about to say for like the 3 dents that they have.
No.
Because I mean, it's like 3 dents, right?
Well, dent
No,
is
actually,
like
there's only 2 dents.
dent is Latin for teeth.
Really?
That's why I'm like, this is where I'm getting at.
Okay. I thought you meant it was an abbreviation for dentists,
No,
and I was like,
it's
you're
like
crazy.
the root word.
Okay.
That's why I'm like trying to figure this out.
Okay. I mean, I guess in hindsight that made sense, but I didn't know that. So that's the thing I've learned today. Is that dent is Latin for teeth. Don't you hate it when you get a teeth in? Don't you hate it when... Oh, what? What?
Why is it called Trident? In its 2 syllables, Trident shows its Latin roots. The first syllable, tri, 3, as in 3 enzymes, combines with dent, teeth, to give us Trident. Trident had developed 3 patented enzymes that fought against the buildup of tartar on teeth. And that's it, folks. you can stop listening.
Wow. Cyber sleuth over here.
Yep, I found it.
We can
the first one.
This is probably going to be our shortest episode.
Yep.
Well,
goodbye.
Thanks for listening. I definitely appreciate you giving us your time. Imagine if that was our podcast. If each episode was maybe 5 minutes and we posted them every Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's like a very humble amount of time, in between podcasts. You listen to our 5-minute ramble about something and then you move on.
Yeah. It could be 5 minutes. You discover something every day.
Kind of reminds me of when I first moved out of my parents' house and I would stop over there and visit them for like 5 minutes and get yelled at, and then I would go home.
Yeah. Just enough to
remember why I left.
Just enough to remember why Trident was named Trident.
Yeah, that was sad and also not true and fictional. But it wasn't. So, what have you been up to, Brian?
This week I haven't been up to too much. I know last week I was sick and...
Oh, I got sick the day after.
Oh, well, I thought it was food poisoning, but it continued well into the next week, so I think that rules out food poisoning.
There's a stomach bug going around.
So
Tyler in orientation got it.
Yeah.
Another person, I forgot, somebody else in the orientation crew got it. And then you told me about it. And all day that day, my stomach had been cramping. And the next day, I got it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's a bug. It's going around.
Well, hopefully I'm done. I think today is the first day I've eaten, like, real food. Yesterday, I tried a little bit.
Didn't?
And really haven't done too much besides that this week. I did buy The World Ends With You for the Switch, which I've been meaning to do for a long time because that's one of my favorite games, and I played it on the DS.
Mm-hmm.
So
how does it hold up?
The game is phenomenal. The problem I'm encountering, without a stylus, to use it as like a touchscreen, is really fun, and it's very similar to how it used to be. But dragging your finger around, like I got big, fat, meaty fingers, is not as precise, I guess, as using a stylus. So I'm figuring that out. Because I'm having trouble with the first boss being able to dodge, because I keep, instead of dashing, I keep accidentally triggering attacks, so I can't move out of the way quick enough.
So do you prefer touch controls over the using the Joy-Cons?
I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
So I only had enough time, really, a couple hours to play with my fingers and get kind of used to that. And
just playing with my fingers.
Just playing with my fingers. And then I think later today I'm going to try with the Joy-Cons.
Well, after you do that, you need to let me know. Because I remember when they first announced that, I knew you were a fan, and I asked you about whether or not I should get it.
It's on, the reason I bought it, it's on clearance, new copies for $30 at GameStop.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, well, I need to buy it right now. So
I just now started playing The Order 1886.
Yeah.
I'm notorious for being super stupid short. But now, at this point in my life, that's a great thing. I need a short game experience. I can't. It's so hard for me to get invested in a game long enough to complete it. So especially if it's not on Switch and I can't take it anywhere. So it's this weird. It's the year 1886. You're in London, and you're a cop, and it's just normal information. Everybody knows this, but there are just werewolves everywhere, and you have to. If there's like terrorism or something, they're like, it's the werewolves. You gotta go get them.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's.
When did this come out?
It came out, I think, 3 years ago. I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of old.
I don't think like I know the name, but I didn't know they were werewolves.
Yeah, neither did I. It was a weird, and it wasn't a big reveal either. The game just kind of started, and I was walking around, and then I was attacked by a werewolf, and someone was like, "Oh, it's a werewolf. Here's how you fight it." And you're like, "Oh, oh, okay, cool."
Anything that I even remotely think sounds like a military game or anything like that, immediately I have no interest for. So that is part of that, I think.
I am 100% drawn to aesthetic. If it has like a cool aesthetic and art style, I'll blindly get it. It doesn't matter what genre.
Okay.
And that one had like this weird steam. I don't like steampunk very much, but this had just the right amount of it to where it was kind of cool. So also I gravitate towards PlayStation exclusives because I feel like I'm losing money if I don't get it because I bought a PlayStation for exclusives.
Okay.
And if they make an exclusive that I don't buy,
yeah,
then why did I buy this PlayStation?
Why did you fucking buy it?
Yeah, like this game has to be at least a little good if PlayStation is making it an exclusive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That sometimes that leads me to getting some garbage games, but
well,
yeah.
You have to have garbage to appreciate the not garbage.
There you go. And if there's one takeaway for anyone listening to this podcast, it is that Trident gum is called Trident because there's 3 enzymes that help fight plaque off teeth, and dent is Latin for teeth.
Yes. Good job.
This was a close second. You have to go through the garbage to know what's good. That's a close second.
Well, besides that, what have you been up to?
Nothing much really. I've been working on my show, which I will give you some more updates on that on another time because I'm finally ready to talk about something that happened last week.
You're ready?
I'm ready. I've recovered fully from the event, and I'm ready to kind of go into it.
What happened?
I went to my sister's wedding.
Oh.
And my life is forever changed. All right, follow me here.
I'm here.
So I'll start things off kind of small, and then I'll get larger. Okay?
Okay.
That's what she said. But the rehearsal dinner was at the aquarium, so we had our rehearsal or whatever, and I'm going to kind of skip describing that because I want to save all of that for the end. But after the rehearsal, we go to the aquarium, and it's like this really large room that had been rented out, so surrounded by tanks with fish and stuff. And halfway through, I'm eating with Dana, and I kind of look, and I see a ladder inside one of the tanks, and I'm like, hey, is that ladder always there? And she's kind of staring at it for a little bit, and ultimately we just kind of shrugged it off because there were no other developments and nobody else knew anything. Well, then later, I'm kind of looking at it, pondering again, and then I see a foot come into the tank. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And a scuba diver dives or climbs down the ladder into the tank. And I'm thinking, this is a weird time for them to be doing diving stuff. But then they pull out this giant billboard that has like this countdown timer for the wedding.
Oh.
And it was kind of neat. And people were taking their pictures next to them and all this other stuff. And I was very curious about how did the diver know when it was time to go back up? Because at one point, instead of anybody being like gesturing up like, oh, you can go now, we're all done, everyone just went back to eating, and the diver was just kind of floating there looking at everybody through the tank. It was kind of funny. Anywho, that was probably the most boring part of the whole thing. The wedding starts, and the wedding begins with this giant... Okay, well, you pull up to the venue, and there's this huge staircase, and each step is painted to where it makes like a picture of a bunch of roses that say Wedding of Abby and Chase. And you're like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Then you walk up the staircase, and it's like this really long wall just made out of roses. And you're like,
nice.
Okay,
I like that.
That's cool. Then you walk inside, and it's this big ballroom, and there's a bunch of people kind of getting things ready for the reception and stuff. So it's kind of nice, but it's also kind of chill.
Yeah.
Whatever. You turn the corner, and there's this huge hallway, and the hallway has all these tiny little divots where candles are in, and they're all lit. So you're walking through this long hallway of fire. Then you make it into this giant arena space. It's all the chairs are arranged in a circle with like this huge circle platform that the wedding will take place on, so everyone kind of gets a good view or whatever. This is also surrounded by these huge glass cylinders with like all these candles inside, and the ceiling is covered in dangling roses. Also, in the corner is like this huge, or it's not huge, it's like a mid-sized orchestra that is playing select songs from Lion King, Disney Pixar's Up, and The Greatest Showman.
Oh.
And they were only there while people were waiting for the ceremony to start, which is maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at all of this, trying to calculate how much all this costs, and it's now occurring to me why the whole planning process seemed so stressful for everyone.
Yeah.
It's because they were putting this together. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to coordinate all this to happen at very specific times. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the wedding starts, and it's okay, whatever. It's a wedding. It ends, and then the party starts.
Okay.
So then a whole bunch of people like come out of freaking nowhere, and they're like rearranging the room and stuff, and everyone's working their way into the reception area. And when you get to the reception area, it is like a carnival. There's a giant popcorn vendor guy. There's like a giant cotton candy vendor guy. It's like an open bar, but they have like custom portraits of all of Abby's pets.
Oh.
And the name of each pet is its own cocktail.
Oh, interesting.
There is an aerial bartender who never touches the ground. There are two women in these like silver metallic looking morph suits that are doing flips and tricks and stuff on these hoops coming from the ceiling, and they're pouring champagne in everybody's glasses.
Oh, wow.
And that's like in the center of this area.
Yeah.
There's a Joan Rivers impersonator.
Oh my
with
God,
like
yes.
her own camera crew going around interviewing people for the wedding
I love that
video or something.
Yeah.
So that's happening. Then there's like this huge hyper realistic deer sculpture on this table, and later you find out it's a cake.
Yeah.
It is
the
a
groom's cake.
very realistic deer. Later in the night, Chase like bites into it, and it's red velvet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of messed up, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the craftsmanship, and it was kind of cool.
Interesting.
Then once all that was kind of finished, we headed back to where they got married, and they transformed it into this giant rave thing.
Yeah.
And they also had these like huge banquet tables, and if you were in table number 1, that was the place, man. It was this really long Last Supper like table with all these. Everyone had rocks with their name engraved on them on each table and stuff. So Dane and I were at table number 1 because we're VIP. We're cool like that.
Your family.
Yeah.
VIP.
No, my family didn't get to sit at table number 1.
Oh no!
Yeah,
really?
no,
Wow.
yeah. I was a groomsman, so that gave me VIP.
In the wedding party.
Yeah, it was cool. So then, we were served lobster and chicken fingers. Then we were served like a salad, and then a cake,
and then a salad.
Or it was a cake, then the chicken tenders and lobster, and then cake, and then there was a second cake, which was the bride's cake, and then there was a third cake, which was the groom's cake, and then after that, everyone started drinking and partying and stuff, and all these like the lights were flashing, and it was just blaring music, and everybody was passing around these giant flashing fedoras and then sombreros, and then there were these like Hawaiian hats, and people were throwing out leis and sunglasses and like flashing rings and stuff, and there was like a team of 4 guys who were professional dancers who were just, I guess, paid to just break dance in the middle of the floor or something. So that was weird. And then after that, bootleg characters started showing up. So
what is
I got to see bootleg Mickey Mouse, and I got on the dab.
What?
And then bootleg Stitch from Lilo and Stitch showed up. And it was like in those costumes to where they were huge costumes.
Yeah.
But you know those like bootleg children's birthday party things? Yeah, it was that. And then bootleg Belle from Beauty and the Beast showed up, but she was on stilts.
Oh.
And everybody was just tossing these light up rings. It was crazy. And then,
what you're describing to me, I'll be honest, I can't picture. It's beyond the limits of my imagination.
Dana described it the best. You know the SNL Stefan bits?
Yes.
Describing this wedding as like Houston's hottest club.
Yeah.
It's Bill on stilts tossing light up rings as Joan Rivers impersonator interviews you and an aerial bartender serves you champagne. It was crazy. Then at the very end, when everybody was pretty shit-faced and ready to go home, these like tuxedo waiter looking people with these trays started like coming in swarms, and they open the things on the trays and it's Whataburger.
Oh
yeah, we all got Whataburger as parting gifts. It was just this huge amount of Whataburger just up for grabs at the very end. So everyone took Whataburger, had a huge photo op in front of like this rose wall, and then everyone just kind of stumbled and dispersed into groups trying to
walked home,
go home. But oh, and then the last thing. So Abby and Chase left in like some carriage thing at the end. And you know how everyone throws rice at them as well, we all had like these huge like you know those
t-shirt guns. Yeah,
you know,
that's what you're holding right now.
Those $15 huge tubes, and you do it and it goes boom, and a bunch of confetti flies out. We all got like those $15 heavy grade confetti launcher things. So we did that, and I was like, man, this better be biodegradable because I don't know how people are gonna clean this up. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. It was absolutely insane, and you could definitely tell that this event was funded before my parents began the divorce process, because that definitely wouldn't have that would not happen now. That was insane in the membrane. I cannot believe it happened. The sheer, I keep saying it was crazy, but Brian,
I'm with you.
Crazy.
I'm with you because I'm not with you at all in the description. Like, I think I was with you until, when did I lose you? I don't know. It must have been the characters. Like the Joan Rivers impersonator, I think, was like the moment where I was like, I can't picture that.
Yeah, it was insane.
It's great. I can't picture it.
She walked up to me and she was interviewing me, and she said something along the lines of, I think it was for her wedding video, which I probably butchered, because she asked me, she goes, "Have you learned anything from your sister?" And I go, "No, I haven't." And there was this like long pause, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she starts laughing, and then there's another pause of her waiting for me to elaborate, and I don't. I thought it was really funny, but I hope she thinks it's funny.
If it makes it to the video, it will be.
Yeah, I guess.
They may just be like, "Oh no, that's not worth it."
Yeah. There were photographers and stuff everywhere too, but that I'm led to believe that that's a normal thing now. Yeah. But
I used to work at a wedding venue, so really? I would do like the setups of different tables, chairs, that kind of stuff. So if they were doing ceremony outside, I would be setting up inside, that kind of thing. So
how stressful does that get?
It wasn't very stressful. The woman I worked for, who was the owner of the venue and like a wedding planner, she was very, very cool. She was her and her whole family were very, very nice, and so it was a great job. It was a lot of moving tables, a lot of moving chairs.
If I may ask, how much were you making from that?
I actually made a pretty good amount.
Sounds like it.
I don't remember exactly how much. The only problem with that, I probably would have stayed there. The only problem was that it wasn't like I was working every weekend.
It was very sporadic.
It was kind of sporadic, and so it was like I couldn't really count on it. So I was like, I kind of have to find something. I had originally actually intended to move for school, and that didn't happen. But that's what I ended up saying. I have to move. So, but no, it was very interesting. I went to a lot of weddings.
I feel like just having wedding at any point in your job title just adds like an extra $10 to regular
100%,
salary. Yeah, that's definitely a good. I did wedding photography once, and I hated it. Yeah, it was way too stressful, and
once you don't capture their moment.
once it was finished, it was terrifying because all their pictures are on this tiny card. I have to go straight to the computer and dump them. I can't.
Could just imagine if you had lost them.
Man, that I could not imagine. That's why I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was doable at the beginning, but no, I'd much rather be able to yell and be mad at somebody else than be that person. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So anything exciting happen? Anything funny happen?
I got my dad to dab.
That's good.
Two pictures were taken that night on my phone. The first picture was my dad dabbing. And then the second picture was my cousin took a picture of Dana and I when we made it back to the hotel. We made it maybe 5 to 10 feet past the door, and then we passed out. And our bodies on the ground looked like, what is it? Michelangelo's David, Adam, the creation of Adam, where God's putting his hand out, and then Adam has his hand out, and their fingers are touching. That's what Dan and I looked like, passed out on the ground.
Why didn't you get on the bed or something?
Couldn't make it. I tried my best, but didn't make it. Dana woke me up at like 7 a.m. Apparently she at some point in the night made it to the bed.
Left you on the ground.
Yeah, and she thought that she decided to help me at around 7.
Yeah.
I woke up to her tapping me on the head, and she helped me get in the bed. But yeah, those are the two pictures. Those are the big stories.
That's good.
My childhood best friend, I hung out with him until junior high, and we kind of separated.
You separated? Was it amicably?
Yeah. We were just going in two different directions.
Yeah.
He is definitely more of a country, outside, hands-on type person, and I was an indoor, play video games.
Yeah.
That
wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna work out. But he was one of Chase's groomsmen. Apparently he's really close with Chase now.
Interesting.
And so it was just really weird being a groomsman with him, thinking, wow, one of my brother-in-law's best friends was my childhood best friend.
He stole him.
Yeah, he stole him from me. The fuck, dude? I called dibs. But yeah, that was weird. But yeah, just the absurdity of the whole thing was just the weird part. Yeah, but it had everything. It had everything. There was one bridesmaid who just kept talking shit about the maid of honor.
That's good.
And I got to hear a lot of it because they were kind of sitting within earshot.
And
that was great. That was great entertainment. When the maid of honor was giving her speech, this other person I don't know what her deal was, but she was just railing into it. And since I wasn't a part of any of that drama, I was all about it because it was funny. It gave me something to talk about. But yeah, that was it.
Nice. Well, give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're processing?
I think I might have found something.
Okay. Oh, this is a setup. This is a bit.
Oh, okay. So I found
this is okay.
Andy, did you see the new Pokemon Direct?
Certainly Direct. You mean trailer?
Whatever you call it.
It's definitely a trailer, but yeah, I saw it.
Whatever. Same difference to me.
It's a very interesting commentary on on toxic fan bases.
You think so? You think that's it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a coincidence. You might be against that, but
there are no coincidences.
Yeah. I think that is too calculated for it to not be a coincidence.
I do think that this wasn't. I don't think this is in response to people being upset about the national decks. I think
I agree.
It definitely was planned before that, because we had the leak that occurred, talking about it before this,
Yeah.
So the leak that talked about Team Yell was correct. There is a Team Yell.
I need to go back and look at the leak now because I think there was more to it that wasn't revealed yet.
There was, but also there were a couple. Which I think is wonderful. This is exciting to me. They have Galarian forms.
Yep, Galarian.
So they're bringing back.
I'm hyped.
essentially, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because Mega Evolutions stayed in one generation, right?
No,
They did it too?
they continued until this. They stop here. Mega
Right, but
Evolutions. Oh, them adding Mega Evolutions?
because I know they were in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yes.
But that's what I would consider the same as was it X and Y or Sun and Moon?
X and Y introduced Mega Evolutions.
Okay.
Sun and Moon.
So that did span over a few generations.
Sun and Moon had Mega Evolutions,
Right.
but I don't think they added any new ones. But you could do the ones that already existed.
Okay. Because my question is this the first gimmick that has now officially happened to two separate generations in a row? Like, this isn't just a continuation. This is them saying, yes, forms are something that we will probably continue doing, at least in my eyes.
I see this as that.
Yeah.
However, I don't think we'll know for sure until the next one.
Right. I mean, I don't think we will.
This is, yes, I'm all about it. Top Hat Wheezing is...
Yes.
They always do such a good job with the first reveal, because when they announced Alolan forms, they announced Alolan Executor first. And I was like, that's a very good character design. I want this tattooed on my body. And then they announced Top Hat Wheezing.
It's too long for you.
I thought, this is another... I guess I really like that vertical, the verticality of it.
You got some good verticality on you.
That's a nice vertical design there.
I like my men tall like you.
Oh my! If you're under 6'4", don't even talk to me. You're not gonna get swiped.
But no. So we were shown new forms for Weezing, who has a top hat.
Love it, and a beard.
And a beard. We were shown Galarian Zigzagoon, Galarian Linoon,
which looks like Gene Simmons.
No, and then now.
Oh, the evolution, yeah.
Obstagoon, which is Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
So I have feelings, because Zigzagoon is not my favorite Pokemon. I do think this makes him more interesting. And I think that there are probably people out there who do like him. But as a longtime Dunsparce fan, this incites frustration in me, seeing that not only does this Pokemon, who already had an evolution, gets two new forms and new evolution, whereas Dunsparce can't get one. I'm like, okay. We were also shown. Let me look up the name. I can't think of the name.
The hamster thing.
Yeah, he's a hamster.
I don't like that one.
I think it's a cute concept to have. He looks cute in his normal form, and then he can turn into like a dark type.
I think that gimmick. I think all the gimmicks are cool, but the character design for the regular form looks way too much like Pikachu.
It looks like not Pikachu to me, but it just looks a little plain. Like, I don't really understand. In the dark form, he's purple in the middle and he's got dark on both sides, but in the light form, he has light and dark, and it's confusing to me because it's not a symmetrical.
It's not inverted.
It's definitely asymmetrical, which is strange, but it's interesting. I never go for this is always the trash Pokemon to me. The quote electric mouse type that's in every game, it just is.
I usually look past a lot of them because they just kind of look like variations of Pikachu.
Yeah.
Most of the time they have their own identity to them, and this one definitely does, but I don't know what it is about this one that I just do not. The design, I guess the silhouette of it, just the shape, doesn't appeal to me very much.
I like the idea of having like a more hamster or gerbil type Pokemon. I think that's neat because I don't think we've really had that before.
It'd be cool if it was smaller. It looks like it's the same size as Pikachu. It'd be cool if it was like the size of maybe a little bigger than a hamster for, showing off it moving purposes. But yeah, I think the size might help if it was smaller. I don't know. Speaking of Pokemon, though, or we can go back into Pokemon, but I'm just also excited about this. I found an indie game project. It is called
Ooblets?
Tim.
Oh,
Ooblets looks cool.
Yeah.
But Temtem, Temtem, no spaces. It's basically a Pokemon MMO.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
multiplayer, and it looks really good. Definitely check it out.
Is it with Pokemon or is creatures that?
It's off-brand Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's not like a fan game of Pokemon.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will get launched. Whether or not the designs are strong enough to establish a fan base, I don't know. The designs looked okay.
Yeah.
But I definitely recommend checking it out. It looked amazing.
Tim.
Yeah. It doesn't take as many creative liberties as I would have liked, but it has like that base concept of you got to catch them all. You use Pokeballs to catch them. The battles look about the same. They evolve.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I like the art style. It's it's cell shaded.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Yeah. It's an alpha right now. I don't have a copy yet, but I joined the Discord, the official Discord, and I'm going to try to score some Steam key or something I need to get my hands on it.
Cool.
I'm very hyped.
Yeah, I don't know. So that was kind of all that we were shown. I think we were shown Marnie.
The character designs.
Like, are you talking about the people? Yeah, Marnie and then Bide.
You're a lot better at memorizing names than I am. Like, Goth Chick and
Marnie
the
is
mad guy.
Yeah,
he looks so mad.
So Marnie, apparently, all we know about her is that Team Yell like loves her and idolizes her. I don't know. I think she's kind of cool. I don't know if she's evil or if she's just incidentally they just like her and she's like whatever.
She has a good fan base, a toxic fan base
who
or something.
knows?
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of neat that it is called Team Yell for that reason. Like it's like people getting upset about stuff. But in the same coin, or the same coin, on the other side of the coin, I feel as if people forget that people do have a right to say whether or not they like something or and I'm not saying everyone does this, and I'm not saying those fans don't go too far sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think people lose that sort of like, well, that's how people give you feedback. I mean, they tell you, and sometimes if you're too big and you're not listening, then a lot of people have to tell you, or they have to tell you very loudly, and that's everything. That's, every part of life. I mean, I think it can be too much, and I think people aren't always prepared for it, and it goes too far sometimes. But I think this whole issue of like a toxic fan base or culture, especially around like bringing back the national decks and stuff, is definitely over exaggerated in my eyes.
I agree. I think, you said it perfectly. It just kind of goes into, I think people get holier than thou when they're receiving feedback. Just how dare you not instantly like what I'm giving you?
Right.
And I think that can get just as toxic as people are making the fan.
People are making out.
People are making out. People are getting so mad about this national dex thing. They just make out with each other.
Making out. Well, it's frustrating for me because as someone who's like, hey, I'm not pleased with this, then by making that statement, I'm pointed to, and I haven't ever been, but just in my mind, by making that statement, then I'm lumped in with the group that's the toxic, like, oh, you won't just appreciate what they give you, and that's a terrible mindset to be in too. Don't do that.
I think what a sad thing is,
we're buying a product.
Is a lot of people, I've seen arguments made, like a counter argument against having them include the national decks that kind of go along the lines of, hey, Pokemon has never really been innovative. They've never really greatly changed or innovated anything, really.
Right.
Any big strides of changes have been very small, and sometimes they stick and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So you should just get used to it. Yeah. And I disagree. I think.
Yeah, I mean that's so annoying. No, you shouldn't get used to it. If you're not happy, you need to tell people. I mean, that's just life. If you're not happy in any situation,
I mean,
you just need to tell people.
You just look at just larger scale protests. I mean, that's just people are voicing their concerns. It's just it's weird. I don't like it, but I do like the concept that this new team explores, because it's just, instead of like a crime syndicate, it's a lot smaller scale.
Yeah.
It's a group of people who will do anything to have their person win, as far as causing roadblocks, keeping trainers from making it to their games. They're yelling things to distract her opponents, so that she wins the game.
Yeah.
They're like sabotaging all sorts of stuff. I like that because their goal is very clear.
Yeah.
It's not some weird. I think ever since Team Rocket, you've had maybe one or two other teams that have had semi-reasonable like goals. And this one has okay, I see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It's not just, oh, I'm a bad guy, I want to use Pokemon to rule the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's neat. They're not really run by a spearhead either. It doesn't look like that trainer's really in charge of them. I don't know.
It could turn out to be that Team Yell is, because a giant legendary in the region is yelling and blowing out people's eardrums. I don't know. Could be some weird story plot that we don't know for the reason to. But
the other rival looked interesting too. Apparently, they're sponsored by the other woman character design who clearly looks evil. Who either both of them are evil and turns out that the other one's good, or vice versa. Vice versa. Welcome to Vice Versa. I'm Andy, and this is
and I'm
Brian.
Versa.
This is Versa. You're about to get viced.
You're about to get vice gripped.
I'm mad.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, so did I tell you about my math class that I took last semester?
No.
So I'll try to make this story kind of fast, but I took a math class last semester, and there was something said about getting a book online in the beginning of the class, but I never buy books unless I absolutely have to. So
never would do that.
Fuck that. I'm just gonna. So minding my own business. Halfway through the semester, I hear someone mention homework. I'm like, whoa, there was homework? What? Apparently, I had been missing out on all these homework assignments for each class that could only be done on this website that you have to get through the book.
Yeah.
So I tried to buy the book and log in, but I couldn't because it was too late. It was past the window.
Oh, no.
So I had to set up a meeting with the professor and basically tell her, hey, I'm dumb. I guess I missed the memo on these homework assignments. Nobody's mentioned them until yesterday, so I'm going to buy the book now. Is it too late? Can you open it up? And she's like, yeah, no, I'll open up the website. You just need to get a book and do your homework assignments, and you should be able to pass the class. I'm like, freaking thank you. You're the best. Well, a week goes by, and I don't buy the book.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So finally, I'm like, all right, I'm finally ready to get the book. Let's go ahead and get it. I'm locked out again because I missed the second window that she opened up. So at this point, it's just strictly due to my negligence. Like, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
There's nobody I can blame for this other than myself. I just don't have the heart to meet with her again.
So this is ongoing?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting there though. I didn't have the heart to meet with her again.
Yeah.
To tell her what happened. So I'm just like, fuck it. I dropped the course.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now. I'm going to an orientation hawk launch thing as one of the helpers. It's a camp where new students can come in and learn about the university and stuff. And there's one faculty member who's going on this camping trip with everybody.
Oh, no.
And it's that math professor that I thought I'd never have to see again.
Oh, no.
So I'm about to see her on Monday and Tuesday at this camp thing. And I think I've dyed my hair and got new glasses since I took the class. Maybe she'll recognize me.
You're gonna
maybe
have
she
to
won't.
do it again.
But
you're gonna have to do a whole wardrobe change.
I am not looking forward to that awkward interaction because I didn't tell her I dropped the class. I just dropped it thinking I'd never see her again, and here we are.
Well, just lie to her.
Well, I think I'll just be very open with, hey, I screwed up. I dropped the class. What are you going to do? Sorry.
Or you could just be like, even though you said you were going to open it again, I didn't think I could finish it.
Maybe.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, maybe. She was so nice. She was so patient with me, and I let her down.
Is she older or younger?
it's kind of hard. The professors kind of have this vibe with them that it doesn't look like they really either they look like they're in their mid to late 40s, or they're fucking old.
Yeah.
But there's no, I can't. She looks semi younger. She's like mid to late 40s probably. But I'm also horrible at guessing age, so I don't know.
So you could have slept with her.
She's not super old.
Yeah.
I won't say that. Not because not because I'm going to say, oh, she's attractive or not, but I think
you still could.
It could. I think it when people talk about, oh, my teacher's so fucking hot. Oh,
yeah.
I think that sounds really douchey. So I won't go into that. But
yeah,
she is.
But you would.
But I would. She is a strong, independent woman.
Okay.
She's very charismatic. She's great. Beth Math, I've dropped math plenty of times, and she's the best math professor I've had.
Math professor you've ever had to drop.
Not for that reason, but she's just really great. She's a really great teacher. She's very relatable. She did that thing where she tells us stories at the beginning of class that have to do with math, but it all comes across as natural. It doesn't seem forced until you're like, damn it, I'm learning. Shit. Look at her. She's doing it. So yeah, definitely the best math class I've dropped.
Would give that a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
For all the math classes I've dropped. You know,
I wish I didn't have to. I really wish I didn't, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do it.
I got one drop left, so
that's good. I did once. I dropped one thing, and I could never drop anything else.
Yeah, no.
I took an F because I was more scared. Because in Texas, you can only drop 6 things.
Can't you do that for every state?
No, I think it's different in every state. But I was so mortified that, and this is like any sort of resource in any RPG game. If I know it's limited, then I never want to use it.
Ever, yeah.
Ever. And so I dropped one thing, and I think I thought that the time I was dropping it wasn't going to count or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, it's still too early, that it won't count against my drop rate or something. But it did. And I was like, oh no. So I proceeded to, in my first semester of like my bachelor's, and this is years before I knew you, failing out of a class because I didn't want to show up, and I also didn't want to drop it. So I just let myself get failed. It was an art class. Yeah.
Wow, what class?
I want to say it was like life drawing or something. Yeah.
Wow. That's one of those classes.
It was at Maine, so I had to drive 40 minutes there at 8 in the morning, only on Fridays, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I got World of Warcraft to play on Thursday nights,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What year was this?
2011.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's take a look back here. Frozen hadn't released yet. What was the big Disney movie at the time? It was
Brave?
Brave was coming out. Tron. I think Tron came out. The latest Tron movie. Everyone was listening to Daft Punk. I'm trying to put myself in 2011. I think Super Mario Galaxy had been out for like 2 years. There was talk about a sequel. Yeah. People were still playing the Wii. Gears of War was a thing. Call of Duty was really popular.
Yeah, I was playing World of Warcraft. Cataclysm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
was raiding, at least, I think I was in 2 raid groups at the time. I was raiding Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Linkin Park was still unironically good.
Linkin Park was still alive. And then I was, yeah. And then that kind of reminds me of my next thing. Have you heard of WoW Classic?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
It's been a very uphill battle to get that done, and I'm so happy that it's a thing now.
Yeah.
I don't play, but it's one of those, it's a perfect example of a bunch of people getting upset and letting their opinions heard, and then people listen and do something about it.
This was interesting because, yes, and I think having an official WoW Classic server is nice, but what was upsetting people, as MMOs go, each expansion, the game changes.
Yeah.
So the game state is not what it was when you first started. So if you want that experience, you can't have it. And there's a lot of people who really just want to play the first vanilla,
Yeah.
WoW. So there would be fan-made servers where it was just vanilla, and Blizzard would shut them down.
Yeah, after years of operation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And these like really big vanilla servers would just keep getting shut down. And the problem, even though, yes, they were operating something that they, I guess, technically shouldn't have been doing, even though they weren't making money off of it, it was just a fan thing. But there was no alternative.
Yeah.
Because World of Warcraft, as it is like retail live, is not that first, vanilla.
Yeah, it's not the original.
There's so many expansions that have come out. So they have officially now created a WoW Classic server. I did the stress test this weekend, so I got to create a character and play around a little bit. And I will be playing when it launches, I think August 27th.
And that's free to play, correct?
So it is with a WoW subscription. So if you already are paying for WoW, then it's free. But if you're not, then you would have to subscribe.
All right. I'm sure there's a trial though, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I might give it another try. I remember when I first played, I think it was Cataclysm. I don't know what my deal was, but even now I'm so hesitant to play anything online.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so late to the party on that, and I just feel all dirty and gross doing it. But I played Cataclysm at my friend Brantley's house for like 30 minutes. I was a dark elf, and I realized I couldn't jump, and I was like, why would you play a game where you can't jump? And I never played it again. What?
Spacebar.
Yeah, you couldn't do that then.
What?
Was there a part in WoW? Was there an era of WoW where you couldn't jump? Because I remember there was like I could not jump. It was just something that couldn't be done.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was, then
I think you can always jump, because I remember when I was playing vanilla and I was like 12 years old playing a night elf and like just doing flips, just jumping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Well, that butchered my story, but I remember not being able to jump. And this is before I played Zelda too. I discovered all the Legend of Zelda games way later.
Yeah.
I don't understand people who are able to play those games when they were children, because like I didn't have the patience to solve those puzzles.
Yeah. When I play things now, it's much more gratifying because I'm like, oh, like I know what I'm doing. Whereas when I was a kid playing those games, I just remember like throwing my head at the wall until something happened kind of thing. Like, so everything took forever because I'm like, I'd be trying to solve a puzzle or whatever, and I'd forget where it even was, and I'd be in a different, it just...
Yeah, I get it.
Now things are so much more efficient that I have an adult brain.
It's so gratifying, too, to get a game that existed when you were a kid and playing it, and then the child inside you is just like, I would have really liked this. Like, oh, I can enjoy it now.
I would have liked this.
I remember.
Too bad I feel no joy now.
I asked my dad if I can get F-Zero X at a old video store that was closing down by my house, and he said, "No, you wouldn't like this." And I think that's just the thing parents say to kids to make them feel better about not getting something. Like, "Oh, you wouldn't like it anyways." Well, that's one of my favorite games of all time now, and I discovered it years later.
Is it out of spite? Like
mid-high school? No, it's just like a really good racing game.
Okay.
I don't like playing grounded racing games. It's like Mario. It's like Mario Kart clones, Mario Kart or F-Zero. It is just, it's so good. And I remember playing it like I would have loved this as a kid. There's a couple other games I've discovered that I feel that, and I'm like, that's how I enjoy it. I enjoy it imagining myself playing it if I were younger. It's weird. I have to switch gears mentally to play it. Yeah. Wow. Well, time has really flown by.
Where is it gone? Where is it going?
Some people say, I mean, time is a social construct.
Like sand through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.